In 2017, Consumer Reports ran a survey of more than 11,000 owners, and the results were so bad for one brand that the big box stores would rather you never saw them. Why do brand new riding mowers die in the driveway before the warranty is even up? And why does one of the most trusted names in the American garage now sit near the bottom of almost every reliability ranking with a public rating of just 1.1 out of 5? Today we are going to expose the engineering shortcuts quietly destroying the riding mower industry, name the exact brands you should never touch, and show you the only 3 kinds of machines that are actually worth your money. Because the mower you are about to buy this spring was very likely designed to fail. If you walk into a Home Depot, a Lowe's, or a Walmart this weekend, you will think you are looking at a healthy, competitive market. You will see Troy-Bilt, Craftsman, Cub Cadet, Yard Machines, Boland's, Murray, and a dozen others, and you will assume these are rival companies all fighting to build you a better machine. That is an illusion. The truth is that almost every one of those names traces back to just 3 corporations. A company called MTD, based in Valley City, Ohio, builds Cub Cadet, Troy-Bilt, Yard Machines, Boland's, White Outdoor, and the riding mowers wearing the Craftsman badge. A second giant, Husqvarna, builds its own machines plus Poulan, Johnsard, and Weed Eater, and for decades it built Craftsman too. And a third, Briggs & Stratton, makes the engines bolted into millions of these mowers and owns Murray and Snapper on top of that. So when you stand in that aisle comparing 6 different brands, you are very often comparing the same machine built on the same line with a different sticker and a different price tag. The heritage, names you grew up trusting were bought, hollowed out, and turned into paint colors. And here is the part that should make every homeowner nervous. In 2021, the same conglomerate that owns DeWalt and Black & Decker, a company called Stanley Black & Decker, finished buying MTD outright, paying $1.6 billion for the rest of the company. The people who make your drill now control the budget mower aisle. To understand why that matters, you have to understand what they cut to hit their price points. And it starts with the one part you can never see. Every riding mower has a transmission, what the industry calls a transaxle. It is one of the most expensive and most important parts of the machine because it is what turns the engine's power into motion. On a quality tractor, that transaxle is built to be serviced, with parts you can replace and fluid you can change. On a budget mower, it is the very first thing they cheapen. The part you will find in a huge share of these machines is a sealed hydrostatic transaxle called the Tough Torque K46. To save a few dollars per unit, the manufacturers fill it at the factory and then seal it shut. There is no drain plug. They literally label it non-serviceable, which is a polite way of saying that when it wears out, you are not meant to fix it. You are meant to throw the whole mower away. And it does wear out. This unit was designed for one job, pushing a light mower across flat ground. The moment you ask it to climb a hill, pull a cart, or work in the summer heat without ever changing that sealed fluid, it begins to cook itself from the inside. Owners report these transmissions losing all drive at as little as 140 hours of use. For comparison, a commercial machine is expected to run for thousands. Now bolt that weak transmission to the cheapest engine they will fit, often a single-cylinder Briggs & Stratton Intech that owners report burning oil and blowing head gaskets at around 600 hours. Then there is the deck, the steel housing under your seat that holds the spinning blades. On a budget mower, it is stamped from a single sheet of thin steel, roughly 12 or 13 gauge, the kind that dents when a stray branch hits it and rusts through in just a few seasons. A serious machine uses a fabricated deck, welded together from steel as much as twice as thick. But heavy steel costs money, and on these machines, money is the one corner they will always cut. That is the entire recipe. The lowest possible cost on every part you cannot see, on every machine that rolls off the line. But a weak transmission and a cheap engine are only half the story, because the real damage is not done in the factory. It is done the day you try to get the thing repaired. And that is where the modern mower business reveals exactly how little it thinks of you. Here is what nobody tells you when you wheel that shiny new mower out of the big box store. The store does not fix it. When it breaks, you are sent to what is called an authorized service center, and that is where the nightmare begins. Independent repair shops openly admit they hate warranty work on box store machines. The manufacturer reimburses them slowly, and at rates so low that the shop loses money on every job, so they do the rational thing. They put their own paying customers first, and the warranty mower goes to the back of the line. Owners routinely report waiting 4 to 6 weeks just to get a mower looked at in the middle of the growing season, while the grass turns into a hay field, and it gets worse. Owners have driven their dead mowers 30, 60, even 90 miles to the nearest authorized center, only to be told that the shop no longer services the brand, in their words, because they got tired of not being paid. And if the failure has anything to do with fuel, old gas, a gummed-up carburetor, the claim is often denied outright, which makes the warranty close to worthless on the exact failures that happen most. And remember that sealed transmission. When the K46 dies, there is no rebuild at the corner shop. It is designed to be replaced as one sealed unit, and the cost of that replacement can approach the price of a brand new budget mower. At that point, the machine is what the trade quietly calls a throwaway. You do not repair it, you buy another one, which is, of course, exactly the point. So how bad is it, really? This is where the numbers stop being anecdotes. In that 2017 Consumer Reports survey of more than 11,000 owners, the analysts estimated that by the 4th year of ownership, around 40% of Troy-Bilt lawn tractors would break. 40%. That is 2 out of every 5 machines. By comparison, the figure for John Deere was about 22%. Brands like Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, and Craftsman landed in the mid to high 30s. Consumer Reports has also found that nearly 1 in 3 riding mowers across the entire industry develops a problem within the first 5 years. And then there is Troy-Bilt's public reputation. On the review site, Consumer Affairs, Troy-Bilt sits at a rating of roughly 1.1 out of 5 across about 600 reviews. One verified owner did the math and pointed out that more than 90% of reviewers rated it at or below the lowest score the site even allows. That is not a brand having a bad year. That is a brand in free fall. So how does a name end up there? To understand that, look at Craftsman, because its story is the whole industry in miniature. Craftsman was born in 1927, and for generations, it was the gold standard of the American garage. Sears never actually built the tools. It hired the best bidder and stamped Craftsman on the result. And for years, the riding mowers were genuinely good machines. Then Sears began its long collapse. In 2017, with the company sliding toward bankruptcy, it sold the Craftsman name to Stanley Black and Decker. And for 2018, production of the riding mower shifted over to MTD in Ohio. The name on the hood did not change. The plant, the parts, and the engineering did. The Craftsman tractor your father swore by and the Craftsman tractor on the lot today are not the same machine, and they are not even built by the same company. This is the private equity playbook run on your front lawn. You buy a trusted American name, you strip out the cost until the quality is gone, and you coast on the reputation that name earned decades ago, banking on the fact that buyers remember the old Craftsman and have no idea what they are actually getting now. So if every brand in the aisle is a trap, does that mean you should give up and pay a lawn service forever? No. It means you have to stop shopping like a consumer and start buying like a mechanic. The first rule is the simplest, and it will save you the most money. The big box store and the dealer often sell the very same brand, but they are not selling you the same machine. John Deere, for example, sells a cheaper series at Home Depot and Lowe's, built with a Briggs engine and that sealed K46 transmission. The exact same green paint, bought from an actual John Deere dealer, gets you the X300 or X500 series with a Kawasaki twin-cylinder engine and a real, serviceable transmission. The box store machine might give you 5 years. The dealer machine can run 15 years and beyond. So the first type of mower to buy is the dealer version of a serious brand, never the stripped-down version of it sitting in the garden center. The second type is a true prosumer or commercial machine. Brands like Toro, Ariens, Gravely, Kubota, and the higher Cub Cadet lines build with fabricated, welded steel decks instead of thin stamped ones, and they power them with Kawasaki or Kohler Command engines, the two power plants that mechanics will tell you simply refuse to die. Consumer Reports rates Kubota at the very top for lawn tractor reliability, and John Deere's dealer machines take the next spots. You will pay more up front. You will pay far less over the life of the machine because you will only buy it once. But the third option is the best kept secret in the entire lawn care world, and it is the one the industry hopes you never discover. Go find an old machine. Not a used budget mower, but a genuine vintage garden tractor from the 1960s, 70s, or early 80s. A cast iron Cub Cadet from the International Harvester era, a wheel horse, a Simplicity, a John Deere 318. These machines were built in a completely different age, with cast iron rear ends, gear drives, and bulletproof Kohler engines, and they were built to be rebuilt forever. International Harvester alone built nearly 700,000 of those old Cub Cadets, so the parts are everywhere. You can often find a running one for around $500. Think about what that means. A budget mower today costs you well over $1,000 and may be dead in 5 years. A 50-year-old cast iron tractor cost you a few hundred, has already survived half a century, and with basic care will outlast anything new in that big box aisle. When you buy that old machine, you are buying something that has already proven it was built to last, at a fraction of the price of something built to fail. And here is one last detail the marketing counts on you not knowing. There is a real difference between a lawn tractor and a garden tractor. A lawn tractor is the light-duty machine, built to mow a flat yard and little else. A garden tractor is the heavy-duty one, with the cast iron axle and the serviceable transmission, built to pull, plow, and work for decades. The trouble is, the big box stores now slap the words garden tractor on machines that are nothing of the kind. So when a brand new mower promises you heavy-duty everything at a bargain price, remember the 40% that break, remember the sealed transmission with no drain plug, and remember that the toughest machine on the lot may well be the 50-year-old one sitting in a neighbor's barn. The era of cheap, throwaway machines is not an accident, and it is not going away. These corporations are banking on you being dazzled by horsepower numbers and cup holders and a low sticker price, so that you never stop to ask about the one sealed part that decides whether your mower lives or dies. But you know better now. You know that the brand on the hood means almost nothing, that the engine and the transmission mean almost everything, and that the smartest machine in the yard is often the oldest one. So before you hand over your money this season, check the engine brand, ask about the transmission, and never assume that new means better. If this opened your eyes to what you are really buying, hit subscribe, because the next product they are quietly cutting corners on might already be sitting in your garage.